Hey everyone, welcome back to Crystals and Codes. Today I want to share something with you that stopped me in my tracks when I first encountered it. A passage about finding the heart of self. Whether you're familiar with channeled material, or you're just exploring spiritual concepts for the first time, I think this message has something beautiful to offer each of us, wherever we are on our journey. Questioner: could you tell us the best way to seek the heart of self? Ra responds, I am Ra. The understanding, experiencing, accepting, and merging of self with self and other self, and finally with the Creator, is the path to the heart of self. In each infinitesimal part of yourself resides the One in all of its power. Therefore, we can only encourage these lines of contemplation or prayer as a means of subjectively, objectively using, or combining various understandings to enhance the seeking process. So, the question that was asked was, what's the best way to seek the heart of self? And the answer that came through was this. It's about understanding, experiencing, accepting, and merging. First with yourself, then with others, and ultimately with the creative force of the universe itself. Now, I know that might sound abstract or even overwhelming at first, but let's break it down together. Because there's something really profound here about how we actually grow and discover who we truly are. The journey begins with understanding yourself, not judging yourself, not trying to fix yourself, but simply getting curious about who you are. This means paying attention to your reactions, your patterns, your joys, and your fears. It means asking yourself why you feel what you feel, not to analyze it to death, but to genuinely know yourself more deeply. But understanding alone isn't enough. We have to experience ourselves fully. That means being present with whatever comes up, whatever arises, the comfortable feelings and the uncomfortable ones. It's about being willing to actually feel your life rather than constantly narrating it or escaping from it. You see, when we allow ourselves to truly experience our emotions, our thoughts, our bodily sensations without immediately trying to change them or shame them, something shifts. You're no longer at war with parts of yourself. Then comes acceptance. And sadly, this is where many of us get stuck. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation or approval of everything about ourselves. It means acknowledging what is true right now. It's the difference between saying, I'm anxious and that's wrong and I need to fix it, versus, I'm experiencing anxiety right now, and that's what's here. When we accept ourselves, really accept ourselves, including the parts we wish were different, we stop fragmenting our energy and internal battles. We become whole, not by changing everything, but by including everything in our awareness with compassion. This leads us to what the passage calls merging with self. This is about integration, bringing together all those parts of you that you've maybe kept separate or hidden. The you that shows up at work and the you that cries during movies. The confident you and the scared you, the mature you and the inner child who still needs reassurance. When you stop compartmentalizing and start recognizing that all of these are equally you, equally valid, you begin to experience a kind of inner unity. You're not performing different versions of yourself. You're simply being yourself, which contains multitudes. Now here's where it gets really interesting. The passage talks about merging with other self. This language suggests something beautiful, that the people we encounter aren't fundamentally separate from us. When we've done that work of accepting and integrating ourselves, we naturally begin to recognize ourselves in others. You start to see that the same struggles you have, the desire to be seen, to be loved, to matter, to understand your purpose, these live in everyone. The barriers between self and others start to soften, not because you lose your individuality, but because you recognize the shared essence beneath our different expressions. This doesn't mean you have no boundaries, or that you take on everyone's problems as your own. It means you approach others with the same compassion and understanding you've cultivated for yourself. The passage says something that absolutely amazes me every time I consider it. In each infinitesimal part of yourself resides the One in all its power. Think about that. In every tiny aspect of who you are, every quirk, every characteristic, every molecule of your being. The entire creative force of existence is present. You are not separate from the source of all things, trying desperately to get back to it. You already contain it. The search for the divine isn't about going somewhere else or becoming someone else. It's about recognizing what's already present, right here, right now in you. The guidance given is to use contemplation or prayer, not necessarily as rigid practices you must perform correctly, but as ways of combining your subjective inner experience with objective truth. It's about creating a dialogue between your personal journey and universal principles. This might look like meditation, journaling, walking in nature, or traditional prayer. The form matters less than the intention. To use whatever practices help you connect more deeply with yourself and with that creative essence within you. So the path to the heart of self isn't complicated, though it requires commitment. It's about showing up honestly for yourself, accepting what you find, integrating your whole being, extending that acceptance to others, and remembering that you're not separate from the creative force you're seeking. Wherever you are in your journey right now is exactly where you need to be. The heart of self isn't a destination you'll reach someday when you're finally good enough or spiritual enough. It's here, in you, waiting to be recognized. Thanks for being here with me today. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments about what helps you connect with your own heart. Until next time, take gentle care of yourself.